Meantime, Senator Sanders has gotten some significant support from prominent African Americans, including activist Professor Cornel West, Ben Jealous, who once led the NAACP, and writer Ta-Nehisi Coates, the latest famed voice planning to vote for Sanders, Hollywood royalty actor and activist Harry Belafonte.
To those of you who have not yet made up your minds, or maybe even some of you who have made up your minds, to maybe consider and reconsider what it is that Bernie Sanders offers. He offers us a chance to declare unequivocally that there is an America, that there is a group of citizens with a deep caring for where our nation goes and what it does in the process of going.
Let's dig into the Clinton-Sanders race with Democratic strategist and attorney Angela Rye, who is a board member of that Congressional Black Caucus PAC, Vanessa DeLuca, the editor-in-chief of Essence magazine, and author and essayist Rich Benjamin, who is the director of fellows at public policy organization Demos. So welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Vanessa, I know you are my fellow journalist. You're going to be the neutral person here, the other two Dems. So with my two Dems, I just want to see a show of hands. Do you know either of you if you're voting for Hillary Clinton? Raise your hand if you are. Okay. What about Bernie Sanders? Okay. I don't know if we have undecided people or people who don't want to share, but let me just begin then, Angela, with you, since we have the news of the CBC PAC today, of which you are a member, endorsing Hillary Clinton. You abstained. Tell me why.
Brooke, because I'm on with people like you. And I think it's important for me to maintain my ability to be as neutral and as objective as possible, particularly in this election where we have so much at stake. You had the rising of Black Lives Matter over the last couple of years, of course, with the start of the death of Trayvon Martin, and I think things have gotten progressively worse. Of course, we know that there are white supremacists that say, for example, that race relations have gotten bad and worsened under President Obama because of Barack Obama, and I don't believe that's the case at all. I think that people are really starting to show their true colors, and I think that it is time for us to take race relations in this country, racial injustice in this country, economic injustice and wage disparities very seriously. And for that reason alone, it's very important that every candidate on both sides of the aisle are taking black voters and our issues very, very, very seriously.
All right. Rich, I'm turning to you. Do you know, I know Angela was saying she wants to remain neutral because she's on TV with people like me. Do you know in your heart who you want yet?
I have leanings. I have strong leanings as of date, but I don't have a decisive answer, and I wouldn't say it publicly anyway. So I'm following the race closely. It's a very important race. It's a great race in terms of interest for a lot of Democrats.
We talk a lot, we've been talking a lot, especially looking ahead to South Carolina and the non-white vote, which is so important. And when you look at the numbers and how, there are some who assume, of course, it's in the bag for Hillary Clinton just based upon sort of the legacy and Bill Clinton seen as the first, black president. But, and you're friends with this writer with the Nation, Michelle Alexander, she wrote this piece entitled Why Hillary Clinton Doesn't Deserve the Black Vote. She writes about from the crime bill to welfare reform, policies Bill Clinton enacted, Hillary Clinton supported, decimated Black America. Do you stand with your friend on that or disagree?
Yes. They've decimated Black America in terms of unemployment, in terms of the incarceration of Black people in prison. And some of this are beyond the Clintons. When we see how the deindustrialization of this country has left to a lot of unemployment, some of these are technological factors that go beyond Hillary Clinton. So the main point of that article is to sort of question, really, who is supporting Hillary Clinton in terms of Black communities and why, and not to take for granted that every Black person is supporting Hillary Clinton just because her former President Clinton was deemed the first Black president.
Let me play some sound, and Vanessa, I want to tee this up for you. Georgia Congressman and sort of civil rights icon John Lewis was speaking today during the CBC endorsement of Clinton, and this is what he said.
But I never saw him. I never met him. I would chair the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee for 3 years, from 1963 to 1966. I was involved in the sit-ins, the Freedom Ride, the March on Washington, the March from Selma to Montgomery, and directed the voter education project for 6 years. But I met Hillary Clinton.
He says he met Hillary Clinton. He never saw Bernie Sanders. As we well know, he marched with Dr. King. Vanessa, do you think that will be damaging to Senator Sanders at all?
Potentially, for those who were considering him or thinking about them. But I mean, quite honestly, as was mentioned earlier, what's really important in this race is not to kind of look to even the leaders to say how we're going to vote, but it's for these leaders to actually, the candidates to actually address the issues that are most important to the voters, right? Especially to
What
black
are you hearing
women.
from your Essence readers? What do they want to hear?
Our audience is telling us that they want to hear about affordable health care, they want to hear about living wage, they want to hear about college affordability. Our younger audience, 18 to 34, wants to hear, in addition, about criminal justice reform. They want to hear about public education reform. Those are the issues that are of critical importance to our audience. And the candidates that actually speak to those things that affect our everyday lives are the ones that are really, I believe, in this particular year, are the ones that are going to move the needle. If they really want our vote, they shouldn't assume that the black vote is an automatic. They should see that we're not all monolithic and that they should address the issues that we're telling them are important to us.
Not all monolithic. I'm looking at you out of the corner of my eye. You're
Yes,
nodding. You
and
agree.
I'm nodding, Brooke. I'm nodding because you have to realize what's the average age of the CBC members. We have to consider millennials. A lot of these millennials were born after John Lewis's great feats. A lot of these millennials were born after these CBC members were voted into office first. And so they've seen the benefits of the civil rights movement positively and negatively in terms of a backlash that the other guest spoke about with Obama's presidency. And so how are they going to vote? And the candidates have to address the issues that were just mentioned: affordable housing, debt-free college, the minimum wage.
But in addition to issues, and Angela, I'm curious your perspective, which for especially, let's say, these millennials that Rich is mentioning, what endorsement do you think matters the most? These lawmakers, i.e. the John Lewises or the Cornel Wests, Harry Belafonte, granted he's, on one side of the generational divide, but what do you think resonates most with the younger folks?
Well, first, I just want to fact check something really quick. Hakeem Jeffries, who's a younger member from Brooklyn, New York, was just on with Don Lemon last night defending his endorsement of Hillary Clinton. He's also a CBC PAC board member. Now, to get to your question, Brooke, I think the thing that we have to realize is we are now in a paradigm where there is a group of young people rising up saying, you don't speak for me. Whether you're Harry Belafonte or Cornel West or Ben Jealous, you don't speak for me. I have the power of my Twitter feed and my followers. I have the power of my Facebook feed. I have the power of my Instagram feed. I have the power of my bullhorn on my campus.
But a Ben
and you don't
Jealous
speak for me because I'm just as powerful.
Does that has to mean a Ben Jealous endorsement? When you look at what he has done, that has to mean something. I don't care how old you are.
It doesn't mean anything to me, Brooke, and I'm saying that as someone who respects Ben Jealous, but I still have the power and to exercise my own voice, to know the issues that matter to me, to know what resonates to me, and unfortunately, right now, no, that doesn't speak for me. What spoke to me more loudly is the fact that Bernie Sanders has this super PAC backing him, the nurses super PAC, a room full of white women talking about how they were going to talk to black women in South Carolina. These candidates can no longer afford to be tone deaf. If you want to talk to me, hire people that look like me. If you want to talk to me, get a ad firm that looks like me and that can speak in my voice. That is what's most important in this election.
That is a powerful comment. We're going to end it there. Angela Rye, thank you so much. Rich Benjamin, Vanessa DeLuca, thank you all.
Thank you.
It's an important conversation, and you make an excellent point.